So today I want to talk about something that was recently brought to my attention from Gun Owners of America. Now, if you're not aware, Gun Owners of America are one of the truly big organizations that actually cares about the Second Amendment. I have my qualms with the NRA, but when it comes to the Second Amendment, Gun Owners of America and Firearms Policy Coalition are two excellent organizations. Now, today we're talking about how Gun Owners of America brought it to many people's attention that there is currently a backdoor potential for gun control to be passed that would be bipartisan. Before we get going, though, I do want to say thank you to Save Your Equipment. They're a huge supporter of me for a long time now, huge supporter of the Second Amendment. They help donate a ton of product to raise a ton of money for FPC, GOA, and several other gun organizations, so we're so thankful to have them on board. Whether you're looking for a rifle bag, a pistol range bag, wall racks, gun racks, whatever it is, they make it. They're always taking input from their consumers and increasing the quality of their product. I'm so thankful to have them on board and a truly Second Amendment supporting company supporting me. This is a huge deal. We talked about HR 127 and the various assault weapon bans. Those laws were written in ways by people who are mentally not all there and would never actually get passed. It's important to talk about them and to counter them and debunk why those wouldn't work, just for the sake of maybe the Orwellian window of talking about what's reasonable. But I think that it's important to really focus on the big things. I can see, and we've kind of been more likely to see, things like universal background checks and potentially the soft core version of these big gun control bills. HR 8 and 18 and HR 8 and 1448, I can't remember the exact numbers off the top of my head, but there were two bills regarding universal background checks, and those are the ones that we really need to focus on because those are the ones that Republicans would be much more likely to cave on. This is the big deal. Right now, the House of Representatives, they can pass through any gun control they want. But the Senate is still being maintained by a filibuster and not being able to get people like Joe Manchin, a Democrat, and a few other Democratic senators who are pro-gun. But they're more likely to bend the knee to their political pressure from the Democrats to actually pass things like background checks, maybe potentially safe storage laws, ending 80%, closing the gun show loophole, the boyfriend loophole, whatever it is the loophole is that they want to call it, they're more likely to focus on those and allow those to get through. So this is why when it comes to, we have people like Lindsey Graham potentially trying to work with the Democrats to pass bipartisan gun control, when really the only thing keeping us from having sweeping gun control is the filibuster and a few Democrats, because apparently the Republicans are too weak to not bend the knee at every opportunity. The time for compromising on gun control is over. This might sound a little radical to some people that might be new gun owners, but listen up. This is the part that I want to share with you. And if you are a longtime gun owner, longtime Second Amendment supporter, this isn't going to be news to you, but maybe share this with a friend who is new to guns, and I'm going to explain to you why we cannot compromise. So there's this very popular cartoon that gets flown around in various gun communities and online internet discussions where someone has a cake, right? And they say, hey, can I have a bite of that cake? And I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. It's fine. You can have some. And then they ask for a little more, and they start taking more and more slices. And eventually you have nothing. And then they come back asking, hey, can I have that? And when you say no, they get upset and say, why won't you compromise? Why won't you let me have this slice of cake? You already have so much. That's the same kind of situation we're dealing with gun control. People act like there is zero gun laws on the books right now. Federally and statewide, there are over 30,000 gun laws on the books, as far as I'm aware. The state of California has so much crazy gun control, and yet we know it doesn't work. They always say, oh, look, let's just compromise on this. So back in the 60s, we gave up full autos and, some NFA items. So the NFA was drafted. And then, there's a Gun Control Act. And every step of the way, they keep it, taking more and more. So we lost suppressors, SBRs, full autos. Now background checks have to be done through FFLs. Now various, storage laws. Now there's assault weapon bans for 10 years and then they lapse. And then now we have California trying to pass mandatory gun insurance. And now there's more fees. And now there's CCW requirements. Now there's more this, that, and the other, more things that are illegal. Oh, now it's 80% are a little bit too easy to complete, so now they got to be this percentage. Oh, now those solvent traps that the ATF said is good, now those are fine. Oh, now those things that this firefighter in the state of California bought, which I did a video on, the ATF said was fine in 2012, but now in 2018, the ATF changes their mind and now they show up at your door, take everything from you, and ruin your entire life. There is no compromise because it's not a compromise. All they are doing is making something illegal and then not making everything else illegal yet. But that's always the goal. It's always a goal. They're just moving the goalposts. They're just boom, boom. They're just making 5-yard plays. Boom, 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 boom. And then touchdown. We have fucking nothing left. I've tried to curse as little as possible in this video because I want to be as palatable as possible to the wider audience who might not usually view my channel and view these videos. But compromise, we cannot do that. I know a lot of you, it might make sense to have universal background checks, but here's the deal. Every single person who is a firearms licensed dealer, an FFL, in the state of California or any state in the nation, if they sell a gun, they do a background check. Bottom line, there are some exemptions for some people in some states who have a license to conceal carry that they can be exempt. But they've already gone through the background check process to get that CCW. So we have all these people who are saying, oh, the gun show loophole. Gun show loophole does not exist. If you go to a gun show and you are buying a gun from an FFL, from a gun dealer, you are doing a background check. And in the state of California, that still means 10 days waiting period, go back in, and then you get to pick up your gun. This whole idea of a gun show loophole doesn't exist. In some states, however, you can, as a private citizen, sell a firearm to someone who you have no reason to believe is of any criminal intent, is not a felon. But the problem is still at the end of the day, if we're letting these people out of jail and we are saying that they are rehabilitated, because that's the only reason you would let someone out of jail, right? If you're letting these people out of jail and letting them be free people, why are we prohibiting them anyway? So what's the point? This whole background check being a compromise is ridiculous. All they're trying to do is further restrict normal people and make it harder to do certain things. Because when you make it universal background checks, what that also entails is how you can lend a firearm to a friend. So in the state of California, when everything was going crazy in the world, if one of my friends who might be a female lives alone, if I wanted to lend them a firearm, I wouldn't actually be able to do that legally, because what I would have to do first is I would have to make sure that her ID has the proper current physical address, and if it doesn't, then I got to get various other forms of identification. If her ID isn't a real ID in the state of California, because that's a thing, she's got to get a new ID or bring her passport or birth certificate, assuming she can provide those things. Then she's got to take a firearm safety certificate test, get a certificate, that's $25. Then she has to, both of us, go to a gun store, and then my information on my ID has to also be correct. Then they do the background check. Background check goes to the National Instant Check System, instant being the key word there. Then she has to wait 10 days to pick up her firearm. Once she does that, she can then pick up some ammunition. But if she wanted to buy ammunition in the meantime and she's never bought a gun before, she's going to have to wait, several days to get that ammunition, pay another $19, I believe, to do the background check. Or she can wait till the day of to get that ammunition from the gun store when she picks up her firearm. Then, anytime she wants to buy ammunition in the future, if she wants to have it shipped to her door, she's going to have to get an FFL03 and a COE. If they want to buy ammunition without doing those things and go to a gun store, they're going to have to do another background check on that ammunition. And you see how this becomes very difficult and how that slippery slope isn't actually all that slippery, because it's just it just shoots you down. There is no slippery slope fallacy in this argument because it is proven. This is a track record of never compromising. It's never enough for them. So do you want to be able to lend a firearm to your friend without committing a felony because they might be in some situation, but you can't be there to protect them? If that's a situation you might think might happen, maybe universal background checks isn't all it's cracked up to be. This video went on fairly long, talking about a fairly simple concept, but at the end of the day, you're going to want to make sure that you first share this video with a friend to elaborate with them why compromise isn't a compromise, because they're not giving us anything in return. It's not like they're saying, oh, universal background checks, but you guys can now make full auto machine guns in the comfort of your own home. They're not saying that. They're saying, we will take this and make something you do illegal, and that's it. That's not a compromise. That's bending the knee. That's submission. And then what they're going to do next year, because they all want to get reelected and pander to their base, they're going to propose a new law and make something else illegal. So what you need to do, go to the GOA's website, fill out their link that will automatically populate a letter to contact your representatives, send that letter, and then share this video with a friend. That's it. You guys know the drill. Have fun, be safe, stay dangerous. Peace.